I get them in their 70s. I do. But really, there's really no one else. What?
It does seem weird, doesn't it?
Right? I mean, who is pushing and prodding these people along? I mean, just think about how Hillary was falling and just it was a
Yeah.
mess. It was a debacle. I'm not picking on her. She was falling. She fell. She would just
Right.
spin off. Her eyes would roll back in her head. I mean, it was very weird. It's like, no, really, no one else? Nobody else?
I know. I feel it. I feel your pain,
Come
Beverly.
on.
I'm right there with you.
Here we go. Sage and Bev for presidents of the United
All
States
right.
of America.
I'm. Look, we're too truthful, Beverly. We'll never get elected. We wouldn't get elected to be the dog warden. There's no way.
Exactly. And let me tell you one more thing. Nobody needs to dig into my past. It's fine, right where it is.
I love it. I
Oh my
love
God,
it.
you're so much fun. Look at all the time you gave me today. You're awesome.
You're wonderful. I love you, Beverly. You're
I
a
love
wonderful
you.
human being.
I absolutely, I'm so glad we do this. And I want you to come on again, okay?
Please, anytime. This is the best.
You are awesome. Thank you so much. You take care and enjoy
All
this
right.
beautiful day.
All
You
right,
got
you
any?
too,
Hey,
Beverly. Bye.
wait. Do you have any parting words? Give me a few parting words.
You know what? We really do need to look past all the junk and try to love each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's truly love is the answer. We have to like get off of Facebook.
Yes.
Just relax. Try to go for a walk. Pet your puppy.
Mm-hmm.
Just I don't know. Just find some love in your heart because I'm here to tell you. We have gotten through harder things than this in America, the Civil War, the civil rights, and we're going to get through this and it's going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. Just try to love each other.
Well, I appreciate that. And I always have this thing at the end of my show where I say lead with love. And, it was what I'm about to do. Is love involved there? Is this going to happen? Who's it going to help? Who's it going to hinder? What I am about to do? And sometimes we just react and we don't go through that thought process. But I want to tell you something. You were very honest with me in things that you saw that, maybe if you do it this way, Bev. And so I was able to look through your eyes and your passion and your anger and hopefully others that listen to the show, and I did tell you we've got them worldwide, that, maybe with some fun and some jokes that we've got going on here, along with passion, maybe it'll make a difference. So I am so, so grateful for your precious time.
I'm grateful for you, Beverly. Thank you so much.
You take care, and I do. I love you. Thanks so much.
I love you. All right, bye.
Bye. So there you have it. What a conversation. I don't know. I'm looking at the time, and I see that it is an hour 48, and I got to tell you, that seemed like 10 minutes. He just was really willing to give up time and give me some perspective. We don't exactly, that's what's wrong with what's going on in the world, is that people, they've got differences of opinion, and just because it is your opinion doesn't mean that it makes you right. And it doesn't mean that you know more than the other person. And it doesn't mean that they are wrong if you differ. What I want to come from this show, and what's happening, and what I would love to happen, is that a level of respect is found, that we don't get these messages lost in translation, that we think about, the people that are brought to the forefront. Sage Lewis is an advocate. He's out there fighting for the homeless, and he's obviously getting involved in this cause being stirred up by the most recent George Floyd. But there is messages that we are giving and that we have and that we're relaying out to the world because we have a social medium. We have the Facebooks and the Twitters and everything, so that we are hearing millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of opinions. And one of the things that he mentioned is, good God, if that girl wasn't there videoing, what a different story that would be and how tragic that would be, because there really would be a fight. There really wouldn't be we'd have to go back to the 60s. Well, where were the eyewitnesses? Who saw this? Who saw that? And everybody's opinion and description of the murder of George Floyd would be different. But because of technology and because of that beautiful phone that she had, we do have him being able to tell his story, even though he passed away. And I know that his family has called for peace. I am hoping that we continue, those that want to protest and march, to continue to not let their voice not be heard. There was a lot of perspective in today's show, and I'm very grateful for the way that Sage was able to, I'm very vulnerable to and always looking at self-discovery, but I also, I'm a fighter, and I have opinions myself, and that has gotten me in trouble. What good is coming from this if we're all fighting for the love of God? If we're arguing, we're still not helping George Floyd. We're not helping all the other victims that we know that have happened. And every time it happens, then there becomes these protests, and then it goes away. I don't want this to go away until we come up with resolve. I don't want to stop getting our voices out there. I have daughters. I don't want them to stop fighting for this guy, George. I don't want, and all of the other, they have so many cases throughout the United States. It is disgusting, because the problem is that we do need some semblance of order. We do need people out there. We look at our parents as if they know better and they're going to teach us. Well, if we have policemen out there that we thought we could trust, and they're just out there looking for these situations, whether it's, a black man running, jogging, what have you, shame on us. I don't want this message to stop until there is resolve. What is that? What are the demands? Besides, please arrest these other 3 officers. But what is the demand? And give me instructions on what I can do. And quietly, I have been reading a lot of material that my daughters have provided me, to open my eyes. When we're not in it every day, it's easy to forget about these victims. And it's a lot more difficult for others when they see it every day. About 15 minutes away is Children's Hospital. And that hospital is filled with babies with cancer and born with heart troubles and all sorts of deformities and things like that. They're in intensive care. But unless I go visit there every day, often it does slip my mind. But that's tragic. These families with these children, and they're sick, and it costs millions of dollars to get them better. The homeless. If I don't drive past it, or if there isn't a guy standing at the entrance and exit of the Acme here in Akron, I don't think about the homeless every day. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking when you think about all of the wrong that really is going out there, living and breathing in this world. And at the beginning of the show, I opened up, I said on September 11th, 2001, we all came together in a day. And everybody was just rattled. And that mess, that terribleness was only in New York. and Washington, and we saw this instant death of 3,000 people. We're seeing the coronavirus run around the world like a serpent, touching on this person and that person and making this person sick, but that person dies. And we are in a big it's terrible. It's a big fat minus sign. And now we have riots on behalf of victims, and it's got to stop. It's got to stop. We got to do better. We have to work harder. And yeah, I do give a shit about America and the crumbling businesses and the whole makeup of what, I thought about if I was in space, and what if I was able to look down at night at the United States, say the past few nights, would there be all these little flames in different places and little spark flurries, like when you're sitting around a campfire and you've got all those embers and you're seeing these flashes of explosions or gunfire or fires being set? What does that look like? What does that look like? The entire United States, these cities all over, and just burning. And then at the same time of the riots, at the same time of the protests, there are children's hospitals and nursing homes and people throughout the United States that are dying, little newborn babies fighting for their life. So if you think about it like that, and you think about all that's going on out there, it can get to you. And it got to me. And it gets to me. I mentioned I am temporarily unemployed right now, and that gives me way too much time to think. Even if I'm working on a project, even if I'm doing things, because I'm a writer, I get distracted, and I can get consumed by that. And what it's done is it's given us all a temperature. There's a temperature. There's a temperature over the United States. Everybody, it's like a fever. It's like we're all ill. It's a different type of virus. And it's called hatred. And it's not just the hatred between blacks and whites or different nationalities, whether it's, Hispanics or, religions and Christians and different faith. It's human beings. And what it is it's a trigger. It's easy to hate. It's so easy to get pissed off because you're right there on the edge because of all of these things. Do I want a switch flipped and everything would be perfect? Kinda. But not really. What I want is for us to develop and learn and, not let love leave us so quickly. And as I wrap up this show, I can't help but, the one thing that brings me out of those slumps of depression and overwhelmed and things like that is my faith and understanding that there is something greater. These things are caused by us. I do believe in the adversary. I do believe in mental health. And that while there are people out there trying to do the good works and have a good message, the adversary is as alive and well as ever. And it's up to us to continue to fight. But my faith in God is sometimes the best thing, but it sometimes feels like it's all I have. And if you're listening, I just want, if you are not a believer in Jesus Christ, I would hope that you would believe in something that's greater than you to help us through. Your faith, it could, and what it can be. And maybe it's the universe, and you call out to the universe for help. But do that thing, because If we start thinking it's all up to us as individuals, it starts with one.